And so with the national anthems over and done with, we can start to look forward to what hopefully will be an evening of entertainment as two teams seek to wind up the end of the year with a good result. Canada have had a terrible 2013 and they are actually waiting to score their first goal in 852 minutes of football. It's been a really torrid time for the Canadians. And when you talk about disappointments in football, well, the Slovenians know all about that. They started their World Cup campaign in terrible form. But since the start of the new year, when Katanec came and took over, things have changed remarkably for them. Took a quick look at the refereeing team there from Turkey tonight. And it was heartbreak really for the Slovenians to lose out on a playoff place right at the death in the last game against Switzerland, losing 1-0. And for that reason, it was Iceland that took the final playoff place. Iceland, of course, playing Croatia tonight in one of the many playoff games around the world this evening. While Slovenia, well, they look to build on what's been a promising year for them. As I said, 5 wins and 5 defeats in the last 10 games. They don't do draws, this team. But all eyes will be looking on a youthful side as they start to concentrate now and focus on the next European Championships. The disappointment of not reaching the World Cup playoffs now behind them. Now they can look ahead and hopefully to better fortunes when it comes to the qualifying rounds. Canadians, well, it's all about lack of goals really. There's a lot of experience in that side, but huge onus on the strikers because it's a number that's getting embarrassing now. Statistics really against Benito Floro. He's only come in start of the summer, and he's done a decent job. They played against the Czech Republic at the weekend, lost 2-0. They had a golden opportunity to break that horrible record of theirs. Quick look there at Sreko Katanec. Katanec has done a brilliant job. As you can see, it's a cold evening here in Slovenia. And it's going to be the home side to get underway. All eyes on Birsha there. You saw the Walter Birsha, so much talked about him. Moved to AC Milan, start of the year. Scored 2 goals in 7 games. He's made a really good start to his career. And there was a lot of scepticism about it, but he certainly made a promising start. What I can tell you about the lineups is that Slovenia will be playing a 4-1-3-2 formation with the Bezjak and Dedic up front. Birsha, as we were saying, he'll be on the right of midfield with Kiem on the left. It's a mixture of experience and youth that Katanec has gone for this evening. For Canada, well, they've got a hopeful looking 4-3-3 lineup, but you would expect them to be on the back foot for most of this game. The odds very much against them. But Floro has named a 4-3-3 lineup with young Kyle Porto, one of the names to look out for in the Canadian side. He will probably be leading the line on his own tonight. The onus will be on the Slovenians to attack from the outset. Let's see if Canada can break that hideous record that they've got. Very much the minnows. All you have to do is look at the FIFA rankings to realise the difference between these two sides. Canada ranked number 30 in the world. I beg your pardon. Slovenia ranked number 30. Canada, of course, way down at 111 at the moment. We can certainly expect to see a lot in the way of Slovenian attacking tonight. The odds very much in their favour. But to their credit, Canadians have been talking in the press conferences leading up to this game that the mood in the camp is good despite this wretched record, and that was nearly an early opportunity for the home side. Bezjak it was, who just couldn't connect with the through ball. Canadian defence split open already. As you can see, it's not a huge crowd here. Capacity of some 13,000 in this stadium. Certainly nowhere near that number here tonight. Of course, it's such a big night for world football, with the playoffs all over the globe. All Black, not really the first choice keeper, plays his football in Portugal. Decent start in the opening minutes by the Slovenians. It's an opportunity for the fringe players in both sides really to stake a claim. Friendly matches used so much as a testing ground for many players. Coaches like to make lots of substitutions, but both will have an eye on the future. Canada, there has been some criticism in the Canadian press that the Canadian FA chooses to play matches against teams often much higher than them in the rankings. The argument, of course, often being that if they can pitch themselves against very good teams and do a decent job, then it should put them in good stead for future competitions. Early obstruction there. As we expected, really, most of the ball in the Canadian half so far. That's poor, but well kept in by Ledgerwood. Ledgerwood, one of the many players who play in Scandinavia. He plays for Hammarby in the second rung in Sweden. Canadian goalkeeper tonight also plays in Stockholm, in fact for ICOR, Stamatopoulos. In fact, the regular Canadian goalkeeper, Hirschfeldt, he plays in Norway, Lars Hirschfeldt for Vålerenga. Here's another chance early on though for the home side. Kien just failing to thread the ball through. Can see a lot of work on this left-hand side, and we should expect to see that this evening from the Slovenians. They do like to play a wide, expansive game. Struna particularly likes to get forward, nominally a left back or a left wing back, but we will see him in advanced positions for most of the game, you fancy, tonight. Such disappointment in Canada about the failure to score once again against the Czech Republic. It was Dwayne Rosario who had the ideal chance. But let's have a look and see what Slovenians can come up with here. Dedic switching from the right to the left. Struna again well forward in this attack. Complete domination in the early stages for the Slovenians. Not an easy job at all for anybody to take over this Canada side. Side bereft of confidence. Results going against them for so long now. So as much about lifting morale as it is about getting things right on the pitch, hoping that one comes as a consequence of the other. Much is talked about that young man, Carl Porter. He will be probably playing very much on his own up front tonight. Be interesting to see him. It's nicely done by Kiem down on this left-hand side for Slovenia. That's more like it. Good flowing move on the right-hand side. He's beaten his man too. Goes down rather easily, really, Kabara there. The foul does go against the Canadian. Ricketts it was who gets back to track back, gives away the free kick. Nicely done by Milec there. And an opportunity early on. Milic is going to swing it in with his left foot. They do have height and plenty of men to aim at. 2, 4, 6 strikers at least there in the penalty area. It was floated in dangerously. Nobody really took control. And the ball is hooked out. And a chance possibly for a break here for Canada for the first time. Here's De Rosario. Just onside, Carl Porter. A decent shot too. Easily saved in the air by Oblak. But that's more promising for the Canadians. De Rosario, the highest scorer ever in the Canadian national team. Feeding Carl Porter. Just didn't get enough behind his shot. But that's certainly encouraging for the visitors. Again playing it forward, but easy for Stamatopoulos. Of course, we did talk earlier on about the number of Canadians playing in the Scandinavian leagues. There is kind of sense behind it, and the climate's in many ways so similar. Of course, it's not just footballers that exchange countries. Ice hockey players going the other way, in both directions really, between the two countries. Once again, everything starting on this left-hand side for Slovenia. That's a nice ball behind the defenders. And a poor cross there. Really disappointing by Milic. He had time and space. He has found some space in these early stages. Something for the crowd to get a bit excited about. To their credit, it's the Canadians that have probably come closest to scoring in the first 10 minutes or so through this man, Carl Porter. Kabara now, holding on too long, letting Slovenia get back. Get their formation sorted out once again. Pacheco feeding it wide to the left this time. There's Leisurewood taking a bit of a risk there, getting away with it though. Holding on to possession but not really doing very much with it in these early stages. Canada. Not getting much more luck going long either. Here's the captain, Cesar, for Slovenia. It is interesting to see how many of the Slovenian national team play in the bigger leagues around Europe now. They're not a surprise package anymore. Only been a member of FIFA, incredibly really, since 1992. So many will remember them for that dramatic game against the USA. They were the lucky recipients of a bad refereeing decision when Maurice Edu looked like he was going to give the States a 3-2 victory, coming from 2-0 behind at one stage. One of the big injustices really of World Cup history. Something that still rankles the Americans. Slovenia did have very high hopes of making it. Here's Porter though with a chance. Back to Rosario. That's a good shot and a great save by Oblak. Certainly the closest we've come to a goal so far. Dwayne De Rosario it was who got the shot in. Nice layoff by Porter. He had to dig it out, but he found a decent shot, and it was a really good stop in the end by Oblak. One-hander, looked like it was just going in. Let's take another look. Maybe we'll get a better look from behind the goal. Yes, it certainly was, creeping in under the bar. Great save by Oblak. Rosario it was, who was unfortunate to miss the penalty against the Czech Republic at the weekend. Peter Cech saving just when it looked like they would finally break that rather embarrassing statistic, going so long without a goal. Can't do anything though with the corner, the captain. He's winning his 77th cap for Canada this evening, Dwayne de Rosario, and what a way it would have been to celebrate. You can see how frustrated he is. And all credit to the Canadians. They might not have seen so much of the ball in these early stages, but they've certainly created the best two chances. Both of them on target too. That will certainly please their coach, Benito Floro. Floro just in charge since August. Players have said that they really do appreciate the new coach. They've really reacted well to him. The mood has been buoyant in the camp despite results going against them. It's been a real managerial hot seat in Canada. It's changed 4 times over the past year or so. We will be hoping, if nothing else, there's a bit more continuity. As Rosario caught out on possession once again. Chance for Slovenia to get their foot on the ball. It's a decent start by this Canadian side. That's a foul, no question about that. Despite Stavanovic's pleas, lunged in rather, even though there wasn't contact. It's really the intent as much as anything else. Rather spectacular fall, all the same. By De Jong. But encouraging signs here for Canada and Slovenia tonight. Question is, can they turn those encouraging signs into something more worthwhile in front of goal? Cesar. It's a hefty challenge from behind by Ledgerwood. Free kick to Slovenia. It's been a low-key first 15 minutes really. Slovenia still waiting to get their first proper attempt on target despite having the majority of possession. That will please the Canadian coach, and certainly not so much Katanec, his opposite number for the home side. It's another unnecessary foul really. Dedic taken down by Pacheco. And a chance maybe for them to launch one towards the big man up front. Dedic and Bezjak will be the targets. Stamatopoulos arranging a 2-man wall. Kim it is who's going to take the free kick. It's too far out to shoot, but he can cause trouble. Lofted in, well dealt with in the first attempt, and that really is the first shot on goal we've seen from the home side, and not very impressive to be honest it was either. Stevanovic getting right under it. It's an opportunity, fell nicely for him, couldn't keep it down though. There have been questions in some quarters in the press about the worthiness of these friendlies at this time of year. Players don't really want to get picking up injuries with big games for their clubs coming up all over the world. Can't be expected to go 100% at it. And possibly the ones who've got most to gain are the younger fringe players. In the meantime, here's a chance possibly for Slovenia. It's that man Birsha. AC Milan paid a lot of money for him. They've got high hopes for him. Even though it wasn't seen to be the most exciting of transfers for the massive club. Things have certainly started well for him. It's a decent cross. Well dealt with by Henry. It is a free kick to Canada. No complaints really. Kurtic going in too aggressively into the jump. Ledgerwood for Canada, looking for Porter. Rather rushed out of it though, and Slovenia a chance to find some space on this left wing once again. It's a nice ball across the line, just couldn't connect with it in the end, and another chance goes begging. Crowd doing their best to lift the home side. Hasn't been that much to be warmed by so far tonight. It's a rather cold, miserable evening here in Slovenia. We're right into autumn now. Struna on the left, plays his football in Greece for Pasianina. Canada coach Floro will be pretty pleased with what he's seen from his team so far. This could be an opportunity there. Ledgerwood gets a chance to clear his lines. Foot a bit high there, and it's a free kick. Another free kick given away by Stevanovic. Rosario for Canada, running a throw for his team. It's a decent cross in. Chance for the shot, not really taken. Another opportunity, but that's easy for Oblak in the end. But once again, a few glimpses of promise from the Canadian side. It's just getting that final effort. A really convincing one. It'll make such a difference, you feel. As Kabara that time denied by Oblak. Get a feeling that maybe just one goal, doesn't matter where it comes from, how it goes in, just might unlock something for Canada, lift their spirits, get them playing with greater confidence, optimism. Nobody needs telling what a difference a goal makes in a football match. Kabara chasing that one and doing well. Giving the ball away. It's all a bit scrappy at the moment in the middle of the park. That's better. There's a chance here, and it's off the bar. Great effort there by Bezjak. Best chance of the game so far. It was a lovely through ball. Let's take another look. No question of offside. Timed his run perfectly. Knew exactly what he was doing. Stamatopoulos beaten all ends up. And really unlucky for Bezjak to see it come off the top of the bar. That's more like it from the home side. No reaction on the bench. It's the first time that the Canadians have really been undone though. And it's, if nothing else, it's lifted the noise a little bit in this stadium. It's a very open stadium, which doesn't really help sometimes. Here's another chance though, maybe for Bezjak. Looking to feed Birsha. Still they keep the pressure up. That's nicely done, decent cross too. But well defended this time by Canada. Slovenia starting to turn the screw a little bit here though. Just after the halfway mark in the first half. Still Slovenia 0, Canada 0. Again, giving away possession too easily now, the Canadians. Chance for Slovenia to mount another attack. Can he fashion a shot? Looking to over-elaborate a little bit there. Birsha is getting more and more involved in the game now in these stages. Samanzic, who looks to build things up once again from the back. And we talked about Birsha in the Italian league. Here's another player who plays there. Cesar, the captain, plies his trade in Chievo in Italy. It's a bit of a wayward pass though. Still not too much to choose between these two sides. Canada have had some really embarrassing results in that dreadful run of theirs. Drawing at home 0-0 against Mauritania, amongst the worst of all. Losing at home to Martinique, lost at home to Costa Rica, home to Belarus. Possibly no great disgrace in the defeat by Mexico, judging how Mexico disposed of New Zealand in the first round of their playoff for the World Cup last week. Of course, Mexico ran out 5-1 winners in the first leg. Got some really big games to look forward to in the World Cup playoffs tonight, not least in Stockholm, Sweden, where the Swedes will be looking to overturn that 1-0 deficit at the hands of Portugal. In the meantime, let's keep our eyes on this game. So it was Kiem that looked to break free. I think he's won the free kick, and he has indeed. Taken out by Henry, and a chance for Kiem to swing one in. Big men once again going up. Captain Cesar there. Stevanovic is there in the mix too. Bezjak as well. 5-6 to aim for. You can feel in the crowd. You can feel a chance coming here. Dedic also there. It's too deep, I think. Stamatopoulos electing to punch when he probably didn't need to, in all honesty. He didn't get a call. And it's a throw down on that right hand side for the home side. Once again, dogged defending, but they don't really have any end product. And it just comes straight back, this time in the form of Struna. Kurtic. Kiam, do you fancy if he gets a chance to shoot, he will. Back to Kiam, all a bit tight in that penalty area, just can't find the right pass. They have been guilty of over-elaborating sometimes, one too many short passes in a crowded penalty box, not really coming off for them at the moment. Frustration there for Kim. Looked like he just wriggled away from Ledgerwood. He's got the pass back, and it all fell apart. Dedic it was who lost the ball in the end. Floro will be pleased if they do go in 0-0 at the break. We were talking about the playoffs, how much would Slovenia wish they were playing against Croatia tonight instead of Iceland. Real tale of the minnows. There was a real feeling when the World Cup draw was made for the qualifiers that Slovenia had a fantastic chance. It wasn't, to be fair, the strongest of groups. But Iceland it was who just managed to pip them for that second place. In the meantime, it's another shot, and that was a good shot too. Just wide, that man Birsha showing some of the form that has warmed him towards the crowds in Italy at Milan. Just curling away at the vital moment. That's more like it from Slovenia though. That's what they want to see from this man. He's certainly not carrying the team like some of the big players do. He's 27 years old now. It's not like he's a youngster on the block. Cesar pumping it forward once again down this left-hand side. Struna might not make that though. Dogged defending, and in the end it did stay in. Put it there to Henry. Carl Porter can't keep it in though. It's going to be a throw. As you can see, well out of play. Linesman getting the full force of the Slovenia captain Cesar there. And another chance down this left-hand side. It's gone down. No penalty, says the referee. Fans not happy. Free kick in the end does go to Canada. Bezjak it was who went down. You can see what he thinks of it. Let's take another look. Well, it was clumsy by Ledgerwood, and it was inside the area. You've seen them given, to be fair. Bezjak frustrated as we slip past the half-hour mark in this first half. Still Slovenia 0, Canada 0. Oh, we're going to see some goals this evening to warm us all up. Substitutes warming up as much to keep warm as anything else. There's Henry for Canada. Nicely done by De Rosario. Back to Henry. Rosario once again pulling the strings in midfield but losing out and putting his man back. The referee wants to put it back. We're going to see the first yellow card of the evening for the Canada captain, Dwayne De Rosario. Playing for the 77th time for Canada tonight. A real veteran in the side. 35 years old, currently unattached. Like one or two of his colleagues. He's been playing his football in the States. And there is talk that he will go back there. One of the big losses for the Canadian strike force tonight was the injury to Simeon Jackson, who English football fans will know from his days at Norwich City. Now plays in Germany, Eintracht Braunschweig. Braunschweig, who went up to the Bundesliga this year. They're struggling in the early stages in the top flight in Germany. Clearly Slovenia winning on possession, but Canada have had chances, and here's another one, but De Rosario just overplaying the pass, much to the frustration of his teammates there. They did have a decent situation, and they haven't really been outplayed by any stretch tonight so far, the Canadians, despite the pre-match betting very much in favour of the home side. They've looked reasonably comfortable, bar that one effort that came back off the bar from Bezjak. Whereas Canada themselves have had a couple of decent chances, not least that great effort by De Rosario that was superbly saved by Oblak in the early stages. Bit of a disappointment that we do reach the half-hour stage still goalless. And that's poor by the Canadians, and that's the kind of thing they can't afford to do against their better ranked opponents. Decent shot, always rising too high though. Bezjak once again, he's the one who looks the most likely to unpick this Canadian defence. Found a lot of space, just couldn't keep it down. No worries at all for Stamatopoulos. Vastly experienced keeper, 34 years of age. A more regular keeper, Hirschfeld, 35, so they do have experience running through the spine of the team. Talking about earlier on about De Rosario, still sprightly despite his 35 years. Key for them really, and that's a nasty one. It was late, no question, that was worth a booking. Second of the evening. Time for Straith, Adam Straith. That's two now for the Canadians. Straith plays his football in Germany as well, in Wiesbaden. Bit of a nasty one that. Playing a central role in front of the two central defenders. Here's Bierschat. Nicely done. Once again though, they failed to get the ball into the box despite the numbers moving forward. Nice skills by the AC Milan man there, Bierschat. That's more like it. Some nice one-touch passing as they look to move the ball quicker forward. Doesn't come off this time though. Again, stout defending by the Canadians. They've looked solid for the most part and organised. I've said to the Slovenians, okay, come on, you can have the ball, you can try and attack us. Hasn't really worked so far though. They've much more to rather a stalemate from both sides. Pacheco here for the Canadians. Straith, one of two men now on a yellow card for Canada, none so far for the Slovenians. Once again, unnecessarily gifted back to the home side there. Can't do anything with it this time though. It rolls out harmlessly for a goal kick to Canada. 8 minutes away from half-time now. It's going to be contrasting team talks, you fancy, at the break. You can probably expect to see a slew of substitutions at some stage, probably starting at half-time. A lot of the coaches from the bigger teams do request that national managers don't use the best players for the whole 90 minutes when it comes to these kind of friendlies. Certainly that will be the case, most likely, for the likes of Birscha for Slovenia. In the meantime, another Canada attack by Rosario comes to nothing. Are we going to get a goal before half-time? Really rather ran into nowhere then, the Canadian. Giving the ball away needlessly in the middle of the park once more. There's a chance maybe for Kiem. Can't find his man now. The chance goes begging. Rosario comes away with it for Canada. Play on, says the referee. Ricketts feeds Ledgerwood down here on this right-hand side. Just over 5 minutes to go now until the half-time break. A half-time that's probably more satisfactory for the Canadian coach, Floro, than it is for his opposite number, Katanec. Disappointing effort once more by De Rosario, the Canadian captain. So we reached the 40-minute stage, still goalless here in Slovenia. Can one of these two teams find something to excite the crowd before we go in for the break? Once again, Struner comes forward, down on this left-hand side. Still defending. Kiem's got nowhere to go there. Did very well there, did Ledgerwood. Pushed his man right back, and in the end the ball goes all the way back to the Slovenian keeper Oblak. Well, they've kept their shape, no doubt about that tonight so far, Canadians. The question is whether they can be more creative when they've got the ball. It's really the only thing that's lacking so far. It's all a bit slow and methodical, but it could run nicely here for Slovenia. Dedic, it is on the far side. Gets his cross in too. Just couldn't find Kiem though. And it's off Birscha for a goal kick to Canada. A rather hefty challenge in the back by Milic there. He's looked good coming forward tonight as Milic, down on that right hand side. Working well alongside Birscha. Plenty of movement. As the ball's lofted in long. Keeper didn't come for it. It does fall for the Canadians, but once again, poor effort. Disappointing end, because it was a chance. Not an easy one for Kabara by any chance, by any means, but didn't get his foot wrapped around it at all. Kabara it is who wins the header. 2 minutes now till the break. And one of these sides finds some inspiration and a goal from somewhere. They've looked okay moving forward, Slovenia, but it's just the final pass. They're not creating any clear-cut chances. Just the one really so far in this match. That will be the disappointment. That's a lovely little flick. And a chance possibly here. Once again, poor effort by Besiak. When he found himself some space. Probably the best move of the game really by the Slovenians there. Easy save in the end though for Stamatopoulos. Rosario for Canada. Again losing it too easily in the middle of the park. It's been a feature unfortunately of the Canadians' play in the midfield tonight. If they can manage to hold on to the ball better, there could be opportunities yet in this game. It's a nice little touch. 2 to aim at. Doesn't find either of them though. Here comes Kian for Slovenia. Rather behind Birsha, but that's a nice ball on the overlap. Players in the middle. And the referee has blown for something. Birsha it was who had the final chance. He certainly looked the closest to scoring for his team so far tonight. The ball was whipped in. Let's have a look and see. It's rather hard to see what was wrong with that. It's a decent save by Stamatopoulos, even though he didn't need to make it. And with that, it looks very much like we're going to go in goalless at a break. We are indeed. The Turkish referee blows the half-time whistle. It's been a game of rather few clear-cut chances for either side. Canada had the best of the earlier chances. Dwayne De Rosario put in a wonderful shot that was brilliantly saved by Oblak in goal. While at the other end, that man Besiak has had 3 or 4 chances. The then number 19, Belazic. And we'll see if we can get confirmation to see who have been replaced here. We also saw Pechnik. There's Gregor Balazic. And there is Pechnik. Pechnik, who played a large part of the World Cup qualifiers. And Lazarevic. Aron, we haven't seen who they've replaced yet. Meanwhile, for Canada, we've got Ashton Morgan at number 3. And I think that we did see 1 or 2 other subs lining up. We did indeed. Once again, we're waiting confirmation. No surprise to see Nana Atakura come on. And another sub there, number 23, Ferran. We will bring you the players who have gone off as soon as we get the news in. In the meantime, it's going to be the visitors to kick off in the second half. Shooting from right to left. Both sides hoping to end this stalemate. And if there's one side probably more desperate than the other, well, that would be the Canadians. The unenviable record has almost reached the 900-minute mark since they last scored a goal. However well you play, you do want to be scoring goals. And it's just not happening for the Canadians at the moment. They've looked solid enough at the back, well organised, good shape about them. But there's such a desperate lack of creativity really coming forward. Although to their credit, the Canadians did probably just shade it in terms of chances created in the first half. Bit of a crude tackle there by Atakora. Berjak it was who hit the crossbar in the first half for Slovenia. He was desperately unlucky. See if the new boys can do any better in the second half. It's nicely done by Berjak. After Berjak, the man everybody has big hopes for Slovenia as they start to think about the next Euros. With the World Cup disappointment now firmly behind them, here comes De Rosario for Canada. He's got Ferran on his left. So they are. Changes up front, it seems. I see another of the new boys, Ashton Morgan. Looks like Carl Porter has gone off for Canada at the break. Can't see him at the moment. Had a quick glimpse of De Jong there. He's been really heavily involved in most things. Marcel De Jong plays in the Bundesliga for Augsburg in Germany. There's Rosario. It's not going anywhere quick though. Pechnik, can expect to see him heavily involved in the second half. Starting out on the right hand side, but probably will drift in towards a more central position. Nice return ball there by Berjak, and a lovely bit of skill, but it didn't quite reach his man, and that has really encapsulated the problem for Slovenia so far tonight. They've looked all right until the penalty area, and it just hasn't happened for them in front of goal. Lazarevic, who was there, another of the substitutes, had three on each side. Belazic, Pechnik and Lazarevic for the Slovenians. And Morgan, Atakora and Ferran for Canada. That took a deflection, I think. Otherwise it was a really disappointing effort in the end by Berjak, the player who has come closest to scoring. Didn't take a deflection, just didn't get his foot around it at all. Sliced it badly off. First 5 minutes of this second half really starting very much as most of the first half indeed was, with Slovenia seeing more of the ball. Really looking that much like scoring. It's a heavy challenge. Substitute Ashton Morgan gives away first free kick. Did well to get in behind his man then, did Berjak. He has looked dangerous. He's looked the one most likely. He's getting into positions just outside the penalty area, but just not managing to convert those chances. This could be interesting though. 5 or 6 men in the box for Slovenia. Poor delivery, and Rosario easily clears it. Chance for them to make amends. It's Birsha and Pechnik is taken down, is he? Notices the referee. Birsha shrugged off the ball by Rosario. Two Slovenia players go down just around the box. Neither of them get the free kick or penalty they were looking for. Turkish referee very much right on top of things there, to his credit. Pechnik already opening things up though for the Slovenians, as we expected. He is really a first choice player in the side. In a recent run, he's seen plenty of goals for, no goals against. So really the chances of Canada scoring tonight look very remote. Is Pechnik again, and Birsha, probably the two best players in the Slovenian side in these early moments of the second half. Combining and looking dangerous. Said about their solid defensive record, despite the one goal, what a big goal it was too, they led in against Switzerland. Now the games before that saw them win 3-0 at home to Norway, 2-0 away to Cyprus, and 1-0 at home to Albania. In the meantime, here's Birsha. It's a good shot, it's a goal! Finally, the deadlock is broken by the classiest player on the pitch, by a country mile really. Walter Birsha, the AC Milan midfielder, gives his side the lead, deservedly so. They've come out with more passion, more motivation in this second half, and finally they get their reward. Not a huge effect on the bench, no great smiles, but Birsha underlining his talent, skipping away from the defender Henry. Keeper will be slightly disappointed with that. Stamatopoulos, as we look at it again, just cleared straight, set himself up, didn't need much backswing at all, but it seemed to crawl a bit under Stamatopoulos. He will be disappointed there. All credit though to Birsha. It looked like the chance had gone. We have got a goal to break the deadlock. Unsurprisingly, it does come from the home side. And now, even more than ever, the onus is on Canada to come and try and come forward. They really don't want to lose another game in this depressing run. Bit of a contretemps there between Hainaut and Birsha. Andre Hainaut, another of the players playing in Germany, not in the top league though. He plays for Ireland. 24-year-old. Really was a great bit of class by Birsha. No big surprise that it would be him to finally unlock this stubborn Canada defence. Question now is, will it open the floodgates, or will we see more of an attacking threat from the Canadians? They've got to come forward now, and that could leave gaps behind. It's always going to be the danger. Oh, that's a poor clearance by Cesar, the captain. Could be something on, but once again, really toothless when it comes to attacking the Canadians. Just had nowhere to go then. And Slovenia stream forward. Disappointing pass that time though by the man of the moment. Says his apologies. Walter Birsha, let's take another look at the goal. Did really well to shrug off Straith's challenge. Really, the AIK keeper would have been disappointed. Squirmed in, wasn't the hardest shot. 7 minutes into the second half, the goal came. Well, a hefty challenge by Straith. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow card already. Maybe on another day he might have gone into his referee's book there. Challenge maybe born out of frustration for his part unwittingly in the goal that separates the two sides at this stage. It's very clear to see where Canada's problems lie. Even when they do go forward, they don't like to bring a lot of men with them. It's really handicapping them to a large extent because the rest of their play, for the main part, has been pretty tidy and solid. Frustrating for the defenders to let in what was a rather soft goal. It's a pretty bad challenge, and I think we could see the first Slovenian player going into the book here. Maybe Struner's going to get one last chance. Slightly lucky. Take another look. Ledgerwood it was who he took out. Clumsy challenge. So here's the Canadian substitute, Ashton Morgan. What can he do to spur his teammates on? It was felt that they fielded the strongest 11 they could in the game in the Czech Republic. Didn't work out for them. Another game went by without scoring a goal. Tonight was more about an experimental lineup. Have a look at some of the established players. Try and mix in a bit of youth there. Give some of the fringe players a chance. And for the most part, they will be quite pleased with their performance. And you have to wonder how things maybe would have been different had Rosario's shot early in the first half gone into the top corner where it was headed before Oblak made that wonderful save. Another free kick given away by Straith. Tend to be niggly fouls rather than bad ones. But they do tend to mount up. He's got the unenviable task of following Beerscher around for most of this game. There's another foul on Beerscher. This time it's Ledgerwood. And we are going to see another yellow card. Ledgerwood not happy. He was the recipient of a pretty heavy challenge just a couple of minutes ago. Right, making his feelings very clear. Unfortunately for him, when you do see some of these challenges in slow motion, it does rather give the game away. No question of a dive by Beerscher there. So the third Canadian player goes into the book. Ledgerwood, the Hammarby defender in Sweden. It's a sight that fans of AC Milan won't want to be looking at the moment. Walter Beerscher getting treatment. Looks like he's in some pain. Could be an opportune time, to be honest, to bring him off anyway. He's played his part, made his mark on this game. Take one more look at the goal. Straith it was, who just couldn't keep close enough to him. Thank you very much. Joy for the Slovenians, and it does look like Beerscher will play no further part in this match this evening. Goes off to generous applause from all around the stadium. No sign yet of a substitute coming on. Of course, it's very much a precautionary measure these days. Free kick in the meantime for Slovenia. A decent chance we're going to have a substitution, in fact. So the man of the moment does make his way off, Walter Beerscher, to be replaced by Filipovic. Zeljko Filipovic in number 4. And still we wait for Slovenia to take that free kick. Slightly worrying signs there for Birsha. He can be pleased with his evening's work tonight. And head back to Milan with his head held high. And he'll be hoping that he's made a major contribution to another victory. Of course, there are games going on all evening, friendlies as well as playoffs. And we do hear from one of the African games that Egypt did beat Ghana tonight, but still went out on aggregate. Meanwhile, some of you may have seen earlier on Russia defeat Korea. Rather a demonstration game in Qatar tonight. Russia winning 2-1. Two sides who will be thinking further ahead. In the meantime, Canada looking to mount an attack, but it's broken up. And this is where Slovenia could hurt them. Do need a better pass than that though when they do get hold of the ball. Here's Stefanovic. It's been a solid, if not spectacular, display by the home side so far. They would certainly not be happy to come away from this match tonight without winning. A couple of substitutes in the action there. All getting a bit tight and messy in the middle of the park. Just past the quarter-hour stage in the second half. If you just joined us, Slovenia leading by a goal to nil. It's been a decent display by Canada, but they run down by the AC Milan midfield player Walter Birsha, and they're looking for a second here. There's Jack, and a really hopeful attempt, and unnecessary for Pechnik to shoot from so far out. Wry smiles on the faces of the bench there, because that was a chance really for Pechnik. Really disappointing from the 27-year-old. It's another good shot, well saved this time though by Stamtopoulos. Another substitute, that's Rebic who was, who fired it in. Deserved to have a pot, it was there for the taking. Once again, Straith really left trailing. Stamatopoulos that time equal to it. Still won't be overly happy with the goal that he's conceded tonight. Yeah, AIK goalkeeper. What have Canada got about them? In their defence, well, they have been missing the striking talents of, as we said, not just Simeon Jackson, former Norwich player, but also one of their highly rated younger players, Caleb Clark. Clark who plays in Germany. Lots expected of him. That's a better move by Slovenia. They just failed once again though with that final pass. That's where it's gone wrong for too much of the evening, really. Well defended though by the Canadians. And the Canadian back line tending to drop further and further back. You can see they're all behind the ball, which is all very well if you're looking to defend the lead. You want to be trying to get further up the pitch. We approach the midway point in this second half. Still, Canada looking for a reward for their possession. He might be 35 years old, Rosario, but he's involved in everything. He really is the centre point for everything Canada are producing throughout the evening. He's all over the place. And no question that he came closest to scoring for his side with a wonderful shot from outside the area. Almost caught out Oblak in the Slovenia goal. Here's Pechnik, nicely brought down by the Sheffield Wednesday player. Decent reverse pull too. Well read though this time by De Jong. Pacheco for Canada. This time they do get men further forward, even though De Rosario doesn't want to play at that. Just get the feeling they need to inject a bit of pace. Disappointing end to another move, really. You see another substitution. Beric it is coming on. Roman Bezjak coming off. Bezjak so unlucky to be denied by the crossbar in the first half. It's like for like, really. Beric will be looking to get forward, kill off this game. I do feel that the second goal would put it beyond any kind of doubt. But it's been a useful run out for Canada. Whatever happens in this final 25 minutes or so, there can be, for sure, some value in playing teams ranked way above you. In this case, the 111 of Canada against the 30 of Slovenia. Such disappointment among the Slovenian population that they couldn't take advantage of the group in their qualifiers. Struan a bit unlucky there, really. Coming back off his face. Two more substitutions on their way for Canada. Nick Leisurewood from Hammarby makes his way off to be replaced by Jonathan Osorio. The number 8 for Canada, Carl Becker, replaces Marcel de Jong. And Canada do win a corner. This could be their best chance of getting off the mark, really, from set pieces. Hasn't really happened much so far. Oblak, the Rio Ave keeper, playing his weekly football in Portugal, looks to sort out the back line. They've got some big players in there, the Canadians. It's again De Rosario one lining things up. A strange one in the end. And back to Ashton. That's better. Here's Atakura. Goes beyond the keeper and just beyond the flailing legs of De Rosario. The idea was good though from Atakura there. Just slightly overhit in the end. Just over 20 minutes left. Still Slovenia 1, Canada 0. This could be an opportunity. True challenge. I think it's going to be a free kick for Slovenia. Despite the injury, you can see another card already being brandished. It's Andre Hainault, the 4th Canadian player to go in the referee's book. He looks in some pain though, Canadians gesturing towards the bench. It was a clumsy challenge, rather late. On the substitute, Beric. And it does give a good opportunity for a shot here. It's only just outside the penalty area. The likes of Pechnik will certainly be lining this one up. He's a player very familiar to Sheffield Wednesday fans in the Championship in England. Meanwhile, more medical attention going towards the Canadian defender. He did take quite a knock. Crowd not looking overly happy at the moment, the Canadians. They are so desperate to see their team score a goal. It's not that they're playing badly by any stretch of the imagination. Just lack that extra bit of quality in the final third. Floro does seem to have them well organised though. There are certain signs for optimism and confidence in this Canada lineup tonight. Hainon, I think, is going to be replaced. And they get the board sorted out. In the meantime, Slovenia are going to take their free kick. A couple of players standing over it. Certainly a chance for a shot here. Kurtic it is, lining it up. What can he do from here? Kurtic with a free kick, it's a good save in the end by Stamatopoulos. Got his angles right, had the ball where he wanted it. The ball did its job, as did the keeper. In the end, it was a comfortable height for the goalkeeper, and he dealt with it in the best possible manner. It's probably a bit lucky it didn't take a nick off the defender there on the way through. In comes the corner, but that's way over by Cesar, the captain. So Canada have got just over 17 minutes to end this barren spell in front of goal. Looks like a foul. It was indeed. Credit to Pacheco for soldiering on, but Stevanovic does go into the referee's book. The first yellow card of the evening for Slovenia. He stayed on his feet as long as he could there. All credit to him. It's a free kick in an interesting position here for the Canadians. They're not going to get too many from this kind of range. Pacheco, who plays his football in Portugal for Santa Clara, 29 years old now. Ashton Morgan it is with the free kick. A low variation, and really, unfortunately, it's pretty indicative of what's happening for Canada when it comes to goal scoring opportunities at the moment. It's just not working out for them. It is a modest crowd here, and have braved the weather conditions in Slovenia tonight. We've had rain, cold weather, miserable autumnal evening really, and more misery it looks like at the moment for the Canadian team. It's a good through ball, could be a chance. Well dealt with in the end though by Morgan. Azarevic, the substitute, looking to latch on to the through ball. He's looked lively since he's come on. One of the many second half subs. Once again losing possession in a bad area there, De Rosario. They weren't punished for it, fortunately this time. No power really in the shot. So where do you build from this kind of situation, you wonder? Possibly the lesson for the Canadian FA will be, well, maybe we should be looking to boost our confidence, finding friendly matches against teams lower down in the rankings, just to get things working, get formations working well, get the players' heads up, confidence going once again. We're never really in the running in the World Cup qualifiers. And the longer this barren spell in front of goal goes on, the more, unfortunately, it gets talked about. De Rosario having that fantastic opportunity from the penalty spot against the Czech Republic. Game that ended in a 2-0 defeat for Canada. We've got another substitution here. Central defender Ilic is coming on, replacing captain Cesar. Dusan Cesar is replaced by Branko Ilic. Ilic, another of the regulars really in the Slovenian lineup. As we edge towards the 80-minute mark, well, we're going to see another goal from either side. A goal from Slovenia would almost definitely kill the tie-off as a contest. Goal from Canada will be celebrated from here all the way to the territories. There are several players in the Canada squads that do play domestically still. Toronto counts for Carl Becker, substitute you just saw coming on, as well as another of the substitutes, Jonathan Osorio. But it's an interesting mix. Also, third substitute, one of the early ones as well, Ashton Morgan. In the meantime, here comes Slovenia once again. That left wing that has been fruitful for them this evening cuts inside. He's going to have a go. Well blocked though. And possibly a chance for a break here for Canada if they can play it properly, and they can. De Rosario now. He's got two to aim for in the middle. Just doesn't run once again. It's that final pass, final cross. Seems to just not find their man. Morgan losing out once again. And Carl Becker giving away the throw. Thoughtful look on the face of the coach, Floro, there. You see clear ball possession statistics very much in the favour of Slovenia. And nobody could really argue with the result if it does indeed end up being a win for the home side. They would have hoped for and expected probably a bigger margin than just the one goal. Still time for that, of course, but let's not count out the Canadians just yet. Here comes Morgan. Too deep though. Both sides have looked pretty mean and well shaped to the back tonight. It's just no major surprise. I've said enough tonight about the lack of goals from the Canada side, but give credit to the defence. Slovenia are a good side. They're not ranked number 30 for nothing in the world. And they've got a free kick here, the Canadians, in certainly a very interesting position. Pacheco once again drawing the foul. De Rosario, as always, standing over it. Always in charge of these dead ball situations. Plenty to aim at. Look for Ferran there with a ponytail. Pacheco is there. Becker's there too. Was looking for Ferran. There is Becker. Decent attempt, well blocked, but it's not clear yet. Pacheco for Canada. And Morgan, that looks too deep. Maybe not though. And still Canada press forward. They're determined to try and break this deadlock. There's Becker. Did have a decent shot. It's not a bad effort either. Oblak not really stretched too much. But Becker has looked dangerous since he's come on tonight. His first shot from the corner was well blocked. At the time you could see what he was trying to do. Just not enough power or direction in it to worry Oblak too much. But he'll be pleased with his introduction so far. In the meantime, at the other end, the chance maybe for the Slovenians. Good save though by Stamatopoulos. Chances opening up in these final stages as the game gets stretched. Here come Canada once again. Here's Rosario. There is an overlap on the run there. Rosario not using it. There's plenty of movement. It's a decent pass too. Stays on side. It's a good cross in. He just didn't get the header right. That was a good opportunity for Pacheco for Canada. It was a nicely floated cross, and maybe he just took his eye off it as the defender came across him, because that was a chance for Pacheco. And there are signs in these last few minutes that things are brightening up for Canada. And at the other end, you can see this save from Stamatopoulos. See what he was trying to do, just didn't get enough bend or power on it. Here's Pechnik. Giving away needlessly to Ferran there. Good solid challenge. And Slovenia win the ball back. All a bit scrappy at the moment. Here's Pechnik. So a run on the overlap. That's not going to reach his man now. Canada do finally get a chance to clear their lines. Just over 6 minutes left on the clock. 6 minutes from another goalless performance from the Canada national team. It's a nice ball through by Becker. Finds the Rosario. Got players to his left and right. Goes right. There's 4 men in the box to aim at if they can get across him. Rosario, Becker, a little bit tight though. Need to find more width. And once again, a promising attack comes to nothing. But Canada enjoying a decent spell of possession here in these final stages. Can they turn it into a goal though? Nice little ball through the legs of the defender by Pacheco. Here's Becker, is he going to have a go? And disappointment at the end. It was a decent attack though. Ferran it was. Asking for the ball. You could see what he was trying to do. Just lost control. In vital seconds. And another chance goes begging for the Canadians. They haven't had many proper attempts on goal in the second half, but there has been signs of optimism for them. Decent attempt there was ruined rather by Beric and Lazarevic together. Well, they haven't had too much to warm themselves to tonight. Slovenian crowd. We've got another substitution. Adam Straith comes off for Canada to be replaced by number 20, Karl Ouimet. Karl Ouimet is one of the youngsters who's very highly thought of. It was expected, in fact, in many quarters that he would start the game tonight and be given a long run out. In the end, the coach Floro decided against it. And it will be disappointing, I imagine, for some of the Canadian fans, because he is seen as one for the future, really, for Canada. Stevanovic coming off in some amount of pain, it looks like. See if he will be substituted in these late stages. Just 3.5 minutes to go. Once again, not much for the Canadian crowd to get too excited about. You do feel that it would do them good to play slightly lesser opposition, to start to make plans for their future. The next World Cup. It's a decent run on the left-hand side, and a good tackle in the end. Now Lazarevic has caused lots of problems on the left-hand side since he came on. They're sticking to their task at the back, Canada. Certainly the defenders have got nothing to be upset about tonight with their display, even if it does end up in another defeat. There's the youngster Ouimet who we talked about. Seems like a long time ago they had quality of the likes of Radzinski, the former Everton player, of course, for Canada. Pechnik plays it back. Here he is again. Haven't seen too much of Pechnik, Sheffield Wednesday midfielder. As the game moves towards its final few minutes, Slovenia happy to just retain possession, move forward slowly. Last thing they want to do is to give away a goal in the last couple of minutes for their final match of the year. What a goal would mean, though, for Canada. Is there going to be one last chance? More credit to Rosario. No sign of him giving up. The veteran. Lazarevic giving away the foul there. As we enter the final minute of the game here in Slovenia. There are plenty more friendlies to be played tonight, and other World Cup playoffs, of course, not least the match that sees the side deny Slovenia a place in the playoffs, Iceland. Could they possibly pull off one of the big shocks in world football and make it to the World Cup finals? Iceland did in fact beat Slovenia in Slovenia, which was probably the result when it all came out in a wash that probably cost them their place in the playoffs tonight. It's a nice ball slip through. Maybe there is one last chance for the home side. Struner was giving it away in the end. Ferran nicely past his player. I think he's going to win a free kick anyway, though. It's gone the way of the home side as we await the number of minutes we're going to have added on. There should be a few. We've had a lot of substitutions, a couple of injuries, not least to the scorer, Walter Birscher. The goal that separates these two sides, and looks like ending up being the winner tonight, unless De Rosario can do something about it. Well, the clumsy challenge in the end by the Canada captain. Milic clearly shrugged off the ball in illegal fashion by De Rosario. 4 minutes of time added on we're going to have. We're well into the first now. Is there going to be one last chance? Another free kick for Slovenia. Canadians not happy about it. We might actually see a yellow card. I think we have. Takura, it is, he picks up a yellow card for kicking the ball away. He's got more pressing things to worry about right now though, because this is a free kick in a dangerous position for Slovenia. They will throw the heavy artillery up. See the frustration by Takura that led to the yellow card. Here comes the free kick, lofted in, well dealt with once again though by the Canadian defence. They really do deserve a lot of credit at the back. The team ranks so much higher than them. They've matched them, they've kept them out for almost the entire game, just that one chance really. And the one that hit the crossbar. In the meantime, Canada looking for what starting to look like a historic goal. There's no chance they're going to end the year with a victory. Well, a draw and a goal would be more than satisfactory. However, Lazarevic for the home side has other ideas as he piles forward for Slovenia. Are the crowd going to be treated to one final goal from their heroes? Here's Pechnik, gets the return. Pechnik looking to shoot on the outside of his foot. No real conviction in the attempt, and maybe, just maybe, one final chance for the Canadians. There's Ferran, threads it through for De Rosario. Easily blocked the first time. He's going to get a second bite of the cherry though. That one not much better, to be honest. Still they keep the pressure up though. We met. Slovenia do clear their lines. They're not completely. Here's Ashton Morgan. Can he find the right cross? A decent ball in, too deep though. And with it probably goes Canada's last chance of scoring that all-elusive goal. Disappointing really there by Ashton Morgan. The fans starting to make their way to the exits. Well, Slovenia are going to round off the year with a victory. And that is more for Katanec and his team to build on for the future as they start preparing for the next Euros. It's a good tackle. Good solid challenge there. But Lazarevic has certainly done enough to stake a claim for a place in the lineup the next time Slovenia do play. Here's Becker for Canada. The last chance goes begging, and that is indeed the last action we're going to see here tonight in Slovenia. This international friendly between Slovenia and Canada is decided by just a single goal. The goal scorer on 52 minutes, Walter Birscher, the AC Milan attacking midfield player, underlining once again his growing reputation. He had to go off injured, and it did rather calm down proceedings somewhat. The player